Hello. I just got back from a super duper burger and boy are my arms tired. No, anyway. That joke just never gets old, does it? So, I had posted another video previously. Oh man, that's probably about a year ago now. About how I don't like time travel theories and how they upset me. And I have a lot of reasons for it. I posted a bunch of them back then of how it's kind of impossible. Because if there was some point in time when time travel was invented, people would show up to look at it, and throughout all of history, and someone will come back and destroy that point, and then it all goes away. But beyond that, I have a more personal reason why I don't believe in time travel. See, I used to believe back in the '80s, and then 1989, I moved to California, and I said I was flying on New Year's Eve. So at exactly midnight, I know exactly where I was standing as the clock switched over from 1989 to 1990. And I told myself I would never forget that date, that I'd always know a fixed point in time. So if time travel is invented in my lifetime, that I would go back and meet myself there and give myself a ride home. And so I was all ready. I believe I wore a bright red shirt. So I'd stand out in the crowd. And Terminal C, in case anybody in the future sees this and I'm wrong and time travel exists, or you know where to meet me and prove me wrong. Well, I'm still here, so I guess no one's gone back in time to change anything. So if I suddenly vanish in the middle of the video, then you'll know what happened. Oh, okay. Uh, but yeah, so I have a fixed point in time, and it's something I always remember. And I guess I only told a few people, but now I'm sharing it with the world. So yeah, as the clock switched over, my plane landed. I was supposed to be there a little earlier or a little later, but I waited around until midnight in the terminal there, and I stood right there at Terminal C where all the stuff used to get off because it used to not have the same security measures we have now, thanks to 9/11. But yeah, I left the gate, and there's a common area there right outside the food court, and there's a big Christmas tree there, and I stood there until midnight, and I was expecting. I had my bags all ready, and I'm like, nope, nope, I'm all ready to go, and no one showed up. Well, at least I didn't show up. I don't know. And I looked around to make sure that it's like, well, is there anybody else here looking for me? Maybe there's some other time traveler who saw this and is like, oh, I'll sit there and take notes because there's a fixed point and there's somebody looking for a time traveler at that exact spot in time. So there's a time, space, location. So if ever you travel through time and want to meet me, you know where I am in one spot. But yeah, and I ran a bunch of other experiments as well too. It's like, okay, so that one didn't work. So I was like, okay, well, is it possible to send a message to myself from the future? It's like, well, okay, so how would I set that up? So what I did is I said, so tomorrow's lottery numbers, what will they be? And I'd sit down, close my eyes, meditate upon it, and say, okay, do I see a message for myself in the future? And then the trick of it was then in the future, after the numbers were drawn, I would sit down and look at the numbers, close my eyes, and meditate on the numbers and think of sending it back to my past self. And so I never won the lottery, so it didn't seem to work, I guess, but I only gave it a try for a month. But the idea was that I needed to create a loop, something where I would be waiting for it and somebody in the future would be sending it. So either I won the lottery and didn't send a message back in time, so therefore I didn't get the numbers, and therefore I didn't win the lottery, or I made it enough of a habit that I would do it every day. So therefore, even once I won, I'd say, "Oh, great! I won! Great! Ooh, I won millions of dollars!" Now I got to sit down and send that message back through time. But yeah, I don't know if I'd really have to do that, right? I mean, if you won the lottery, you'd probably remember those numbers for the rest of your life. You'd probably be thinking about them constantly. And so if there was echoes through time and a way of sending messages through sheer willpower, then you probably would have won. You would have already sent it back if you won. Or maybe that's what happens. Maybe the winners, they always say, oh, I got a premonition. Maybe they sent the message from their future self. But it didn't work for me. I tried it, and I had another friend at the time, Tim, and he tried it too for a while, but I don't think it ever worked for him either. At least not that I know of. I haven't talked to him in like 20 years. Maybe he won and that's it. But I doubt it. Yeah, so I've tried sending messages to myself. I tried meeting myself. I don't know what else I could possibly do. So it just doesn't seem like it's possible. Like I said, I have thought about it in theory other ways. It's like, well, if time travel did happen, what would be the consequences of it? What would we see now? How would things be different? And it's like, well, based on what I see, how things would be different, it's like that never happened. So either people who travel through time make sure that no one goes back to our era or something, or it's impossible for some reason, either because you need a wormhole on each end, or depending on, there's lots of different theories on how it might work, but all of them seem to say that you wouldn't necessarily be able to get back to sometime now. You have to create a machine here and link that up in the future. And until the machine's built, you can't get past that. It's like, oh, okay, that's like making a 5-year plan and saying, oh, it didn't work because we didn't plan properly. Yeah, okay, yeah. So it's easy to say we have some way, and then saying, well, it's not provable in my lifetime, but in the next lifetime, and give me credit if it ever does. It's like, yeah, I could say that too. Yeah, in fact, yeah, time travel will be proven true in the future, and thanks to me, and I just won't see it in my lifetime, though, but everybody can worship me now for time travel being invented in the future because I predicted it. But I'm predicting it's not going to happen. So anybody watching this in the future, billions of years in the future, when society has changed so much that you don't even recognize humans from non-humans, well, I guess it'd be it doesn't really mean anything to say that, but yeah, you look back and you say, oh, what did they think about time travel? What did they think about these things? It's like, well, I stood boldly and said there is no such thing, even though people are constantly looking for it and physicists are constantly claiming it and sci-fi writers. It's like, yeah, it's not possible. And if it is, meet me at the turn of thing at the airport, 89 to 90. Well, hope to see you there.